I believe anyone can conquer fear by doing the things he fears to do, provided he keeps doing them until he gets a record of successful experience behind him.
It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work in it. Friendship with oneself is all important because, without it, one cannot be friends with anyone else in the world. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experience. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Never allow a person to tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. Since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness you are able to give. Life was meant to be lived, and curiosity must be kept alive. One must never, for whatever reason, turn his back on life. With the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. We are afraid to care too much, for fear that the other person does not care at all. You can often change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints in your heart. Character building begins in our infancy and continues until death. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. What could we accomplish if we knew we could not fail? Think as little as possible about yourself. Think as much as possible about other people. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The only things one can admire at length are those one admires without knowing why. My experience has been that work is almost the best way to pull oneself out of the depths. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life, and be without flavor. Enjoy every minute you have with those you love, my dear, for no one can take joy that is passed away from you. It will be there in your heart to live on when the dark days come. Do not stop thinking of life as an adventure. You have no security unless you can live bravely, excitingly, imaginatively, unless you can choose a challenge instead of competence. If someone betrays you once, it's their fault. If they betray you twice, it's your fault. I think that somehow we learn who we really are and then live with that decision. Hate and force cannot be in just a part of the world without having an effect on the rest of it. I could not at any age be content to take my place in a corner by the fireside and simply look on. People grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. I am convinced that every effort must be made in childhood to teach the young to use their own minds. For one thing is sure, if they don't make up their minds, someone will do it for them. Never be bored, and you will never be boring. You can never really live anyone else's life, not even your child's. The influence you exert is through your own life, and what you've become yourself. In all our contacts, it is probably the sense of being really needed and wanted which gives us the greatest satisfaction and creates the most lasting bond. Nothing has ever been achieved by the person who says, "It can't be done." Enjoy every minute you have with those you love, my dear, for no one can take joy that has passed away from you. It will be there in your heart to live on when the dark days come. We do not have to become heroes overnight. Just a step at a time, meeting each thing that comes up, seeing it as not as dreadful as it appears, discovering that we have the strength to stare it down. Remember always that you have not only the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. You cannot make any useful contribution in life unless you do this. One thing life has taught me, if you are interested, you never have to look for new interests. They come to you. When you are genuinely interested in one thing, it will always lead to something else. Justice cannot be for one side alone, but must be for both.